Well, hello, and welcome back for another episode of Blue Family Unity. I'm your host, Elsa Kurt.
Coming together to share our lives, standing on a thin blue line, giving you some peace of mind on the Blue Family Unity Show.
If you're part of the law enforcement family, this is your show. Here we talk about all things Leo family life, the good, the bad, the funny, and the sad, and everything in between.
On the Blue Family Unity Show.
Crime is exploding across America. Defunding the police is causing even more chaos and increased crime in communities we live, work, and raise our families. We need your support to refund the police. Your donations will go toward the development of a national media advertising blitz to rally Americans who are sick and tired of the attacks on law enforcement. So donate today and help refund the police.
All right, guys, today we've got a bunch of things to talk about. So many things going on. What else is new, right? It would be really, really weird if there was nothing going on. It'd also be pretty peaceful, but that's not the case. So let's jump right into it. We're heading over to Pardon My Preach.
It's time for Pardon My Preach.
All right, guys, pardon my preach, but I have got something on my mind here and I want to share it with you. So you know, or at least you should know by now, that I use my platform to advocate and support the good men and women of law enforcement. It should go without saying that my support does not extend to those who dishonor the badge. And but I'm going to say it because people get confused. I guess people think that because you support police, that it means that you support the bad ones too. And that couldn't be further from the truth, because as we know, no one hates a bad cop more than a good cop and a good cop's family. So hopefully we've got that clear for anyone who has any doubt or confusion about that. But of course, we know there are people that are always going to say that, and I say, screw them. But we're going to talk about today, we're going to talk about the bad cops. We're going to talk about the bad ones, because honestly, I'm a little pissed off right now. There is a very well-known, very popular TikTok cop that has been making some headlines, I guess we should say, in that social media world, because he's being accused of sexual assault, and not just by one woman, but by several women. And, so there's a couple levels here, but I'm going to go with the biggest one, the biggest issue that I have right now, right here. And that is, and we use the term alleged because we don't know for sure. We don't know the true story. But here's what I'm going to say. If that is true, he's human garbage. Nobody wants him. Nobody supports him. Nobody, no decent person, no good cop, no good family, no good human support for anyone doing the things that he is accused of doing. You are a blight to the law enforcement family. We despise you because you bring down everyone with you. So you really should just go the hell away. We want anyone who is doing these things, doing anything to misrepresent or badly represent law enforcement, we want them gone just as much as anyone else. Now, having said that, I also want to state the obvious, that they are entitled to a trial if need be, or for, their side of the story to be told as well. I know we have this whole thing about believing victims. And of course, if somebody's a victim, they deserve to be heard and believed. But there's also investigations that have to happen. Allegations have to be proved. So until that happens, we don't know the full story. And that would go with any officer involved incident, that we need to know the full story before we make our judgment. So that's the biggest part that I want to make clear. I do not support or tolerate bad cops. It is that simple. Now that I've got that off my chest, I want to talk about idolizing strangers, idolizing people at all, to be honest with you. We got to stop doing that, okay? No human being really that I can think of is worthy of idolization. Okay, they're humans. We're designed to fail. Idolizing strangers is a recipe for disaster. And particularly idolizing people that you see on social media and don't know anything about other than what they show on social media. We have no idea what goes on in the personal lives of other people. There's a saying about don't ever meet your idols, and with good reason, because they will probably disappoint you. You know, if you need somebody to idolize, how about being or becoming the person that you would idolize? Just do that instead. Don't idolize people, strangers. It's not going to turn out well. And there you have it. I've said my piece. Don't be a shitty cop and don't idolize strangers. Let's get on over to our headlines. All right, guys, our first headline comes out of Texas, the Astro World Festival deaths. It is just absolutely horrific what went on there. We've got some video for you that is very disturbing, very upsetting. Take a look.
People are fucking dying. I want to save somebody's life. That's somebody's kid.
The headliner of that festival, Travis Scott, spoke out on Saturday saying that he is absolutely devastated by what took place on Friday night. Officials said scores of individuals were also injured after a crowd surge at the festival, which Scott founded 3 years ago. A 14-year-old, a 16-year-old, two 21-year-olds, two 23-year-olds, a 27-year-old, and one person of an unknown age died. 25 people were transported to the hospital and 13 remained hospitalized, including 5 people under the age of 18. Chief of Police Troy Finner confirmed on Saturday that there were reports of possible drug spiking. He said that while they are investigating the possible drug spiking incident, other victims were clearly trampled. There are also reports that a security officer in the area reported feeling a prick in his neck before losing consciousness. Medical personnel reported administering Narcan and were able to revive him. Medical staff who treated the officer noticed a mark that could have been from an injection. It also says that apparently 11 people who were transported to the hospital were in cardiac arrest. So there are a lot of disturbing videos out from this festival, from this terrible incident. And there's a lot of speculation too about the satanic ritual vibe that was going on during this concert. And just by the theme of this concert, it's pretty disturbing. All right, guys, our second headline is about the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. Last August, when Rittenhouse was 17 years old, he was arrested for fatally shooting 2 men and injuring a third during a protest-turned riot in Kenosha, Wisconsin.
This is 100% self-defense, Tucker.
Rittenhouse's lawyer, John Pierce, has taken the case public on Fox News.
He was in imminent danger of serious bodily harm or death.
Thank every single one of you from the bottom of my heart for the underlining support.
According to the Daily Wire, there are legal experts saying that Kyle Rittenhouse has a strong self-defense claim. He's facing life in prison, charged with 5 felony counts and 1 misdemeanor, including first-degree reckless homicide, 2 counts of first-degree reckless endangering safety, attempted first-degree intentional homicide, and possession of a dangerous weapon by a person under 18. Rittenhouse pleaded not guilty back in January. Most recently in the court trial, a man shot by the then 17-year-old Kyle Rittenhouse admitted in court on Monday that he was pointing a gun at Rittenhouse when the teen fired. This looks to be yet another blow to the prosecution. You can follow this story over on the Daily Wire or on Law Enforcement Today. And in our third and final headline, we have Blue Lives Murder apparel appears for sale on Amazon. Law enforcement demands its removal. Amazon has come under fire by law enforcement for allowing a third party to use its e-commerce platform to sell Blue Lives Murder merchandise. In a letter sent to Amazon's chief financial officer, the Detectives Endowment Association demanded that the company stop allowing its disgusting merchandise to be sold, arguing that it puts cops at peril and at risk. At the time of this article, there is no word back from Amazon whether they will discontinue selling the line. You can check out this story and more over on the Daily Wire. All right, guys, it's time to find out what you're not going to see in the mainstream news. That's right, it's time for Not in the News. Here we go. In Newton County, Georgia, an off-duty Fulton County Sheriff's deputy and her brother were shot and killed. The incident is apparently related to a domestic violence situation. Deputy Shakima Jackson was off-duty when she was shot and killed, allegedly by her husband. Jackson's brother, Lavoy Brown, was also shot and killed. Thankfully, the Jackson's 17-month-old child was not injured. We send our sympathies to Shakima Jackson's family and to the Fulton County Sheriff Department. All right, guys, after all that, we need some good news, right? Here's a really sweet story out of New Zealand. A 4-year-old boy in New Zealand accidentally dialed the National Emergency Services number by accident. When the police answered the call, he invited them to see his favorite toys. Naturally, they took him up on his offer. The Southern District Police posted on their Facebook page the 911 call.
Hello.
Snake lady.
Yes, what's going on?
Can I tell you something?
You can tell me something.
I got some toys for you.
You got some toys for me?
Yep. Come over and see them.
Whereabouts are you?
See?
Sorry?
Hello?
Hi there. We've received a 111 call. I'm guessing it was a mistake, child making a mistake there?
Yeah, he's acted off with his mother's phone.
Oh, bless him. So just confirming there's no emergency at all?
No, there's not.
Awesome.
I was fixing the other child.
No problem at all. He was just talking about his toys. That's no problem at all. You guys have a good rest of your day.
Comms calls for any units free to headed. There is a 4-year-old there who is wanting to show police their toys.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Roger, thank you.
They said, while we don't encourage children to call 911 to show us their toys, this was too cute not to share. All right, our third and final story that you may not have heard in the mainstream news is about the Let's Go Brandon banner being flown by plane over last weekend's Georgia-Missouri football game. As you may or may not know, the origin of the Let's Go Brandon chant comes from here.
Unbelievable moment.
Brandon, you also told me, as you can hear the chants from the crowd, let's go Brandon. Brandon, you told me you were going to kind of hang back those first 2 stages and just watch and learn. What did you learn that helped you there?
NASCAR is now trying to distance themselves from the chant. Based on its popularity, I think it's here to stay.
Perfect. We are here with the one and only Marjorie Taylor Greene. She is the superstar of the day at the America First rally. Thank you so much for coming out today.
Oh, I'm so happy to be here in Connecticut. It's absolutely beautiful and the people are amazing.
This was an amazing crowd. The cheers and the applause and the shouts of "We love you." It warmed my heart for you because we know that there are some people that don't share the same love and affection for you and for what you're doing. And, in my opinion, it's because they're terrified of you.
Well, I think it's actually they're terrified of the American people. And I am genuinely just a normal person that ran for Congress, got elected in a wonderful district, and I take the things that everyday Americans say at home at the dinner table or around a cafe or breakfast or at work, and I take those words and feelings and sentiments into Congress and I say the very same things.
Yes.
And that's what they're terrified of. They're not used to hearing that in the halls of Congress because members of Congress are just supposed to join the club and leave those things behind.
Right. You are rattling their cage pretty hard, and it's a beautiful sight. And I think what resonates so much with all of us, with the American population, is that you're a wife, you're a mother, you're a businesswoman, you're everyday America, and most importantly, you are. Well, I shouldn't say most importantly, but so importantly, you are a proud patriot.
Yes.
And it resonates in everything. And there you go. Exactly. And we do. We love her. It's an amazing sight. So I kind of already know this, but for people who don't know, what was the inspiration for you jumping into the political arena when it's shark infested?
Oh, well, President Trump, of course. And he was the first politician or first person running for president that I truly identified with. And I think that's the truth for most people. I mean, that's what everyone says.
Absolutely.
Is for the first time we heard someone running for president that spoke like we do, thinks like we do, says the same things we do.
Yes.
And he put America first.
Right.
And it was those America First policies I absolutely fell in love with.
Yes.
Because that's what we should have been doing all along.
Absolutely.
But what made me actually run for Congress was the Republicans' failure in the first 2 years under President Trump. They didn't do the things that we wanted them to do.
Right.
They didn't fund and build the wall. As a matter of fact, they didn't even fund it, and it was a Republican-controlled House and Senate.
Right.
They didn't repeal Obamacare, that really took my family's health insurance premium from $800 a month to over $2,400 a month. And then the one thing that really broke my heart, and they all say it on the campaign trail, and they all say it when they're asked, is they all say defund Planned Parenthood. And they did not even defund Planned Parenthood. As a matter of fact, when they wrote a budget, they funded Planned Parenthood. And that was
amazing.
Republicans. And so it was because of their failures I decided and was convicted that it's going to take regular people like us, just Americans who love our country, to actually get involved, and that's the only way that we're going to take our country back and save it.
Absolutely, that is so true. And you gave this voice to the Americans who felt like we didn't have a voice anymore, that it wasn't our say, and you've been such a great reminder that they work for us.
They do work for us.
Yes.
Yeah, we pay them with tax dollars.
Absolutely. And you are, like I said, you are taking them to task on everything, and it has been glorious. And it is disheartening to know that your own party works against you and tries to silence you, even, it sounds like, that they don't want you to say the things that you say, and that's got to be so frustrating.
Well, I think I've kind of broken past them, and it's because of great people. all the people.
All of these people.
Yeah, they can't ignore me, and they can't push me to the side anymore because so many people support me across the country. And it's told the conference that, hey, listen, we like what this lady has to say because we agree and we feel that way too. So they haven't been able to marginalize me anymore.
In your wildest dreams, did you imagine that it would become this? Because you are essentially, you're like the modern day people's celebrity. I mean, we, before Donald Trump, do we have any politicians that were celebrity status to people that received this type of passion? I don't think so. So you are
I'm very
a
humbled.
superstar.
I'm humbled and grateful. But it's a lot of fun because I'm genuinely no different than anybody else. So I feel like I'm just hanging out with a lot more friends.
Yes, yes,
So
and it
so
feels
it's
that
great.
way. It truly does, and that, like I said, that absolutely resonates, and I think everybody feels that as well. Now, the question, I don't know, maybe you've answered it before. I haven't heard you answer this before. How far are we going with this politically? Is this the long haul, the long run? Because, I think a lot of us could see you take this very far, and I think you know where I'm heading towards when I say that?
Well, I honestly can't answer that question right now, but I'll take it as far as the people want me to, and that is what I'm committed to, and of course, God willing, my family as well. But I truly believe, that's why I talk about it's our generation, it's our turn.
Yes.
And it is just going to take people getting involved on every level, and I'll go on any level I need to save our country, and that's really because I'm a mom.
Yes.
And I see America as our home. This is our home. And, you know, I think it's like any mother that would listen to this, we all agree that when it comes to our kids and it comes to affecting their lives and hurting their lives, that's exactly what the Democrats are doing. As a matter of fact, they're destroying our children's lives. And so I will fight anybody literally till I can't move anymore.
Mama Bear right there.
Absolutely,
Yes.
Mama Bear. But I feel that way about our country as well. I'm tired of funding foreign countries that hate us. I'm absolutely sick and tired of our men and women in the military serving in those never-ending wars, you know, building border walls in other countries, building roads and bridges, building schools in other countries, and defending all of those interests over there when we're defending none of our interests here at home. And these are the policies I believe in. I also believe in a strong economy and making jobs, and I've been a successful business owner for over 20 years. And those are the policies that I want to put into play, because I want everyday Americans to make a lot of money and be successful.
Yes.
I'm sick and tired of the elites being the only ones doing their insider trading stock picks and being the ones making all the money.
Absolutely.
And I really want to get rid of the corruption in our government, and I know that takes a lot of hard work and it takes a lot of courage to do it, but we got to get rid of the corruption, because that is what has eroded our foundations for a long time now.
Well, you're doing a hell of a job exposing it and holding them and holding them to task and making them accountable.
Thank you.
I know the American people thank you for that tremendously. And
I'm honored to do it.
Thank you. And on a personal note, I have to say I am a law enforcement spouse, and I am so grateful to your support for law enforcement and how you stand up for the men and women in blue. So thank you so much.
Well, it's hard for you too. So thank
hard.
you for
Thank
your
you.
role. It's
Thank you.
It's
Thank
a tough one, and I know you. When your husband comes home and he's bringing those burdens home, you've got to deal with it too. So it's not just the law enforcement officer; it's their family as well.
Thank you for that. I appreciate that very much. Marjorie Taylor Greene, it is such an honor to talk to you and meet you in person. Thank you so much for coming on here to talk with us, and we love you. We're cheering you on the whole way.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
This has been so much fun.
All right, thank you guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.
All right, guys, I'd like to close out the show today with sharing some of our most recently fallen officers who died in the line of duty.
Coming together to share our lives, standing on a thin blue line, giving you some peace of mind. On the Blue Family Unity Show.
Thanks for listening to the show. We'll see you next time on Blue Family Unity with Elsa Kurt. And remember, united we thrive. The Blue Family Unity Show was created, written, and produced by Elsa Kurt. Music written and produced by Dan Tracy. If you would like to be a guest on the Blue Family Unity Show, contact bluefamilyunity@gmail.com.